The troubleshooter goes undercover to put technicians to the test.
Before you have your AC service for the summer, you'll want to see how some local companies did on our test. Troubleshooter Diane Wilson is here with the results. How'd they do?
Pretty good. I get a lot of questions and complaints about HVAC companies, and viewers want to know if their units are really being repaired and if they're being charged for things they don't need. It's been a problem for a long time. This is video from an undercover investigation we did 16 years ago. Back then, only 1 of 6 technicians was totally honest about what was wrong with our AC and what it would cost to fix it. So we decided to see if things have changed for the better. We rigged our producer's house with hidden cameras inside and out, created a problem with our AC, and waited for the techs to take the test. The AC is not working in this house, but we know why. Our expert made it stop working. James Freeman is head of the air conditioning, heating, and refrigeration unit at Wake Tech Community College.
We'll go ahead and just do a visual in here of the unit also.
First, James checks the unit for problems. He finds none. Then he creates one, a blown fuse.
I went to the indoor unit, the gas furnace, and I took the control fuse out and I put a bad control fuse in. It is not a difficult call to diagnose.
With undercover cameras outside and inside our producer's home, including the attic where the main unit is, we wait for technicians from 6 randomly selected companies to arrive. ARS Rescue Rooter is first, and the technician heads straight for the thermostat.
Was it blowing any air, just not cooling? Or?
No, it's not coming on.
Then he heads up to the attic to check the furnace. After a few minutes, it's back down to check the thermostat again.
Just going to run me ragged trying to find it.
After several trips up and down,
The wiring itself is fine.
he tells our producer he's found a blown fuse and thinks he writes on our invoice that he highly recommends replacement of our thermostat at a cost of $287.
We know the thermostat didn't need replaced because obviously I put a bad fuse in the system.
Our producer declines a new thermostat, so ARS Rescue Rooter only charges us $99 for the service call. Expert Express is next. After our producer tells the technician her downstairs unit isn't working, he too heads straight to the attic. He finds a problem in minutes.
Your computer says it has a bad fuse, so let me get a new fuse for it.
Okay.
And that's it.
After changing the fuse, he says he's done.
Here's the fuse.
The charge for Expert Express? Just the service call, $79. Same success story with Artisan Comfort Systems Incorporated. They find the blown fuse right away, and as the invoice states, no damage to any wiring visible. So they replace the fuse. Total cost of the service call, $89. The tech for Air Comfort Concepts is next up the stairs.
You had a burnt out fuse up there?
He also checks the thermostat.
So if it doesn't come on when the cool comes on, if that fan doesn't come on, it means something going on with the thermostat.
But the air comes on right away. So he leaves us with AC, a bill for $94 and some reassurance.
Make sure you show your husband that fuse. It's just a burnt out fuse.
Next, service experts. He heads upstairs to the attic and finds the fuse.
Well, it has a blown low voltage fuse.
He replaces the fuse. Total cost, $160, $99 for the service call, and $56 for the fuse. Bolton Service is last to take our test, heading upstairs and finding the bad fuse.
A low voltage short could be numerous things.
Okay.
It could be, I could figure it out in 30 minutes, or it may take several hours.
After more checking, he becomes the second of 6 techs to tell us our thermostat is bad, and we need a new one, this time for $150. Are we being scammed? Expert James Freeman says the techs aren't right about the thermostat, but they're still on the right track.
They came to the thermostat as the issue by checking the other components and then saying, well, everything else seems fine, so I think it's the thermostat. If they would have put a new thermostat on, the consumer wouldn't have ever known that the other one wasn't bad.
Our producer declines the offer to replace, and the bill just $153.20. $150 for the service call and labor, and $3.20 for the fuse. And now our test is done. So here are the results. Out of the 6 techs who came to our house, 4 diagnosed the problem correctly and replaced the blown fuse. 2 of the 6 replace the fuse, but also recommend a new thermostat, which our expert says we don't need.
There are sometimes misdiagnoses. At least in this case, I think the misdiagnosis was with some good intentions, thinking that was the problem.
Dave Dombrowski, manager of ARS Rescue Reader, one of the companies where the technicians misdiagnosed the job, recommending a new thermostat.
Our main focus here is to determine why that fuse blew. Fuses just don't accidentally fall apart and blow. Something causes that, an electrical short.
He stands behind his technician's recommendation.
Typically, when an internal fuse blows like that, it's related either to a short in the wiring or to the thermostat. So to avoid you having the problem the next day or having us to come back again and again and again, it's a common recommendation to say, look, this is a logical conclusion. Let's look at replacing the thermostat. It was a 5-year-old Honeywell thermostat. Technology has changed a lot since then in terms of energy control.
Mr. Dombrowski also said he supports us in doing this type of test and wants all of us to help identify companies breaking the law, like those who aren't licensed to do certain work and those who don't pull permits when required. And the president of Bolton Service says he's glad we're looking into and making sure customers are getting a fair deal. So, so the good news, we didn't catch anyone just blatantly lying to us or trying to rip us off, and that's a big change from our test 16 years ago. The bad news is that this stuff is expensive, so you've got to be careful, and every company charges different prices. The least we paid was $79, and that was just for the service call. And, check this out. This is a fuse that they replaced, and we bought this at an auto repair shop, and we were able to buy 5 of these fuses for about $3.50. That's about 70 cents for one of these fuses. So several companies gave us that fuse for free. One charged us $3.20, and one charged us $56 for this fuse. So it's all legal, but that's why you have to shop around and really do your homework and ask for pricing up front. The other thing, if they want to replace something really expensive, which this wasn't, make sure you get a second opinion, because that way you will be paying for 2 service calls, but it could end up saving you a lot of money if they both have different diagnoses there. So
I'm glad they've gotten more.
Oh, they really have.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Different companies though.
Different companies this time, but vast difference from last year.
That's
1
great.
out of 6.
All right.
Great.
Awesome.
Thanks, Diane.